What is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to the Producer channel, and this is Brownstone coming to you with a new video. And yeah, not what you were expecting, right? I actually wanted to do this video for a while now, but what really inspired me to do this is a recent news article that's just come out with James Cameron criticizing Marvel VFX. Now, Marvel VFX has been a hot topic for a long time now, so I think it's prime time for me to do this video with Avatar: The Way of Water coming out in 5 days. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah, let's get to it. So it's no surprise that, as I said before, Marvel VFX has been a common talking point for a long time, with the MCU CGI being on a decline for a long time now. And it's also been well noted that James Cameron, of course you know who James Cameron is, the director of Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water, director of Terminator, Titanic, Titanic 2, like guys, you get the point. But it's no surprise that he's been particularly critical of the Marvel movies. And what really inspired me to make this video is the fact that I am not only a massive fan of Avatar, but I'm also a massive fan of the current slate of MCU movies. You know me, I am a huge defender of MCU Phase 4. So, with that being said, that I'm right in the middle of all this. So what exactly do I think about James Cameron's comments overall? Not just on Marvel VFX and Thanos, but his entire Marvel criticism in general. Well, let's go back to where this all started. So in a prior interview before this one, he criticized the Marvel movies for not having their characters act mature and stuff. Of saying that the characters all act like they're in college and they don't really show any emotional growth. And that's a very valid complaint for the majority of MCU movies. Infinity War and Endgame is a different story, but for the majority of Marvel movies, yeah, he's kind of right about that. Being a massive fan of the MCU, I've never really noticed that, but upon his comments, I did go back and aside from some select characters dealing with some baggage, like Captain America, Black Widow, or something, the characters don't really show that much emotional maturity. They have their arcs, and I guess maybe it's the jokes that really prevent the characters from being emotionally mature. And James Cameron talked about in the interview how the characters, the characters in Avatar, like Jake Sully, like in the first movie he was hopping off his flying animal, and Neytiri is going to do this and stuff. Like, I don't exactly remember the exact contents of it, but I do remember of what James Cameron was essentially saying. He's essentially comparing the Marvel characters to his characters in Avatar, and how they've matured to Avatar: The Way of Water. And that's actually very, very interesting, because I don't think many people talk about the emotional maturity of the characters and stuff. Certainly, I've never really thought about it. And obviously, I can't speak to other characters yet, because I haven't seen Avatar: The Way of Water yet. I'm just encouraging everybody to go see it, but I haven't personally seen it yet. So I'll probably make a sequel to this video when I actually see the movie. But what do I actually think of his comments, being a massive MCU fan? I think he's right, because if there's anyone who would know what he's talking about in this sort of instance, it would be James Cameron. While his comments are a little harsh, like, that's not the way to make movies. While I agree, there's better ways to say that, man. And while taking a massive dunk on Marvel is very controversial, considering the amount of respect and reverence that the MCU as a whole, especially the Infinity Saga, has, is he's not wrong for feeling this way in the slightest. I mean, a common complaint of all MCU movies is that the characters, they don't really grow. No, their dialogue is very joke heavy and standard, and it lacks the emotional depth. This is why Zack Snyder's DC movies were considered a big deal, because the tone was actually dark, the characters were mature, and all that sort of thing. And while James Cameron takes the aim at both Marvel and DC, he hasn't really talked about DC as much as he's done Marvel. Only because the DC has been doing better, a bit better on that front. So yeah, with the type of comments that James Cameron has been saying comparing Marvel to his movies and stuff, I can't wait to see Avatar: The Way of Water and see how movies are and see how his type of filmmaking is really done. And that moves us on to the recent article that just came out. James Cameron has just recently criticized the Marvel VFX on Thanos. His exact words are Thanos, give me a break. He said something a bit more than that, but I kind of forgot. I'll link to the article so you guys can see it. I'm hoping to find both articles. But he recently compared what Industrial Light and Magic has done with the Marvel films and some of that sort of thing to what his team has done on Avatar, saying that the VFX work done on Thanos is not even close to how the Na'vi look. And when I look at those two, this is not him saying it, I'm saying it now. When when I look at them, I do notice a difference. Obviously, Marvel CGI has been rapidly on the decline. Right. Even as a massive fan of Phase 4, I will say this myself: the MCU CGI is getting worse because of the amount of projects they're trying to accommodate. Meaning the VFX artists don't have enough time to perfect it, and there's lots of stories about how the VFX team is essentially abused in Marvel, and yeah, you hear all those ugly stories. So yeah, as I said, Marvel CGI is on the decline, and when you compare that to how Pandora looks in Avatar, it really is night and day. While I can get a bit heated being an MCU fan, with James Cameron saying like, that's not the way to make movies, or give me a break, Thanos looks awful, essentially what he's saying. I can get a bit heated about that, but I completely understand where he's coming from, and I agree. With the rapid decline of Marvel VFX and stuff, it's why I think we need Avatar. Why I think we need Avatar: The Way of Water. I've talked a lot about box office and why we need to go see Avatar: The Way of Water many times to see the movie, see the movie and make that box office big. I've said that many times, so you guys don't need to hear it again. But I've never really touched on it from a visual effects and CGI perspective. With Marvel movies constantly dominating box office and that sort of thing, and being everything people talk about, and with the Marvel CGI being on the decline and getting worse, I think we need a reminder as to what great CGI can be. Because with the declining quality comes a decline in how CGI is viewed. Obviously, using CGI in movies is a very, very risky gamble, because you can only do it right, or you can do it wrong. So many times CGI has been used wrong. Case in point, the Star Wars special editions. While I think a lot of the changes are good, the digital touch-ups, sometimes can be hit or miss. Yes. And as I stated earlier, Marvel, and there are some other instances which I can't name offhand, are in the right hands, and CGI can be used for something great. Hey, case in point, Avatar. Alright, and Peter Jackson's King Kong and all that. There's a lot of instances in which CGI is used to great effect, but I think we've just become so used to rapidly declining CGI that great CGI seems like an anomaly. When we compare how Wakanda looks in Black Panther and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever to how Pandora looks in Avatar, it really is night and day. Heck, even Aquaman in DC, he showed Black Panther up, and the CGI in Captain Marvel isn't really the all that great either. So when we see that, and then we see how Avatar: The Way of Water looks just by the trailers alone, and the massive improvements from the first film, it really is impressive. And I wanted to make this video to really go deep dive into the two franchises, and particularly how I think that Avatar: The Way of Water is the movie we need right now. Because with box, as I said earlier, with box office being constantly being dominated by superhero flicks like Marvel and stuff, mostly and almost entirely Marvel, but sometimes DC. I think it's time to let other franchises have a shot. Like a more recent example of a film other than Marvel or DC is Top Gun: Maverick. That made $1 billion, and is one of the highest grossing movies of all time for great reason. Yeah. But one of the reasons is why it's something different. People have seen the same thing over and over, and they're clamoring for something new, which is, I think, part of the appeal of Avatar: The Way of Water. It's been so long since the first Avatar came out that people are really looking to immerse themselves in an entirely different world. We've seen Iron Man, we've seen Captain America, we've seen all the stories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've seen all that. We've seen Thor: Love and Thunder and how the critical response was less than impressive. I think people are ready to experience Pandora again. People often complain about Avatar: The Way of Water being so being 13 years from the original, and that Avatar has lost its cultural impact. But has it? Has it really? I mean, Avatar has always been regarded as the pinnacle of CGI and stuff, like the king of CGI and that sort of stuff. So has Avatar really lost its cultural impact? That's actually a video I'd probably like. That's actually a topic I'd like to devote a separate video to at another point. And I think I'll have plenty of time to do so, considering we have 5 days before Avatar: The Way of Water releases. And I could actually release the video after Avatar: The Way of Water comes out, depending if you guys want it. But I think, I think personally, James Cameron, while he can state it a bit too bluntly, is absolutely right. I mean, he's made a lot of the most successful films of all time. Titanic, Avatar, and what's regarded as the greatest sequel of all time, Terminator 2. If anyone knows what he's talking about, it's this guy. So, while his criticisms of Marvel can be a bit harsh, I wouldn't discredit it. Heck, I got a bit steamed over his criticism of Marvel maturity, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized, well, he's kind of right. And that's a harsh reality for me to accept, being a massive MCU fan. Because I'll always defend the current state of Marvel movies until the day I die. Heck, I love America Chavez in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and so many people are saying she's the weakest link. I'm like, what? But you guys get the point. I don't have to repeat myself. You guys understand the point I'm trying to make in this video. The point is, I think the world is ready. So, yeah, I'm not gonna repeat the message because you guys have already heard it. You know what to do. You see Avatar: The Way of Water and stuff. I just thought I'd make this video from the perspective of an MCU fan, because I don't think I've seen this video done before. With so many articles coming out about James Cameron's criticism of Marvel and stuff. I haven't really seen people talk about the criticism from this sort of angle, so I thought I'd do that. Sort of like a one-off thing. But if this video gets popular, I might do a sequel to it after I've seen Avatar: The Way of Water, because who knows? I might have more to talk about afterwards. Scratch that. I definitely will have stuff to talk about. But with that being said, I'd like to know if you guys are gonna go see Avatar: The Way of Water on opening night, like I am. Are you guys planning to see it opening night? You guys planning to go later? You guys planning to see it way down the line? Right? And if you guys are going opening night, again, hope to see you guys there. With that being said, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you all later.